What's going on, everybody? Old School Drive-In Movie Theater 84 here. Today we are going to be talking about the Duke controller. This is going to be kind of a simplistic, shorter video that I'm going to do, just kind of slap it together. I went ahead and took pictures, so I guess I can kind of show them now. But as you can see, this is kind of a beefy, big ol' controller that has been criticized, and a lot of people are kind of vocal about how this is just kind of a laughable product. The Microsoft Xbox was criticized for stealing ideas from the Dreamcast. Now, as you can see, there are two controller ports in this controller. I got a little post-it note on there, but ignore that. But I got a VMU in the slot and a rumble pack of VMU, and this has two slots, even though the Microsoft Xbox has a hard drive. It's got internal memory, and you don't really need the slots, but it's nice to have, I suppose. It has a very well-rounded shape, kind of an oval shape. I have big hands, and I love just kind of the feel. It just really fills up my hands. It feels really good. I ordered this. I got my Xbox original and I got the S controller. And I'll grab the S controller real quick just to show for comparison. So I'm going to pause the video. Yeah, I got Resident Evil 3 Nemesis just playing in the background just to do, because I just did the intro for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, just talking about how I watch DVDs and whatnot. But yeah, these cords are really long. I got a picture of the Duke controller's cord, which I will show right now, I suppose, or whatever. But yeah, I got the S controller right here. Now this is a sleeker, slimmer version, and admittedly, this is the better, more superior version. It has the two slots as well. And I have this wonderful white t-shirt, which I can kind of zoom in and show you. It's, yeah, I don't know, like the old school design, it's kind of got more of those great looks, because the Xbox original kind of has like, it looks like grates. I can't really articulate with this one. But this one just kind of has more of a slim look. I guess it's easier to put in the mass production. The little dome thing on the Duke, it's like a plastic dome with like a sticker or something, or like a little printed design or something weird on the inside. I wonder what kind of cardstock it is, whether it's plastic or anything of that nature. I have no idea. But I prefer the Duke in some ways, but the S controller in other ways as well. Now, what is weird is that they messed up the configuration, or the white and black buttons are in different positions, and I don't know. Look at the buttons on the Duke. They're these like jelly bean buttons that are raised up, and it has like a really awesome 3D effect for the buttons. For the ABXY, it just has a very raised, awesome look. It's a very wonderful looking controller. The D-pad it's effective, it works, it's cool, but the D-pad is more refined for the S controller. You could tell that people were vocal about the D-pad, because most people are. And just for sake of comparison, there's the Dreamcast controller. This is Dreamcast 84's channel after all, but yeah, it's just, ABXY is in the same position. If you look at the S controller, it's the same pretty much, except for the Y button is yellow. X button is, yeah, the X and Y button are like different colors. A and B switched up too. Yeah, so it's like the same thing, but the same configuration. So if you're disenfranchised and disillusioned by Sega being like a market failure, and you're just like, oh gosh darn it, and then you switch over to the Xbox, it's not that much of a leap. You're like, hey, this kind of feels natural. It's kind of cool. I felt that way when I was playing Shenmue 2, and I was like, yeah, because the only reason I got an Xbox original back in the day is because when they announced Shenmue 2, I'm like, that's the one I'm going for. I told myself I'm gonna go for whatever, because I gotta play that story, so that's what I did. But yeah, like they got these little cool little clicky buttons. I kind of like the concave and convex buttons the analog stick, where this one's more raised than this one. Has little thumb grooves. It feels very nice in the hands, like I'm saying. Now, my main gripe for this controller, okay, when you're playing as the S controller, you know, you push the start button and it's kind of more of a natural, this is the start button. You just, oh, I want to pause the game. Oh, okay, cool, no problem. With this one, you're playing the game. Oh, yeah, I want to pause the game. You have to, like, reach your thumb. Like, you have to, like, seriously, like, it's kind of a hike. You gotta, and you can get used to it because it's just, you play it, you get used to it, you get used to any kind of controller that you play with, and you can get used to this one. I've heard that people say that it feels like two potatoes in your hand. Maybe not exactly like two potatoes, but pretty close. It's, I don't know, just a really classic controller, because back in the day when I got the Xbox original, it came with this controller, and it's just really nostalgic. This one came in really good cosmetic condition. I got this at the same time when I ordered Voodoo Vince, and I started playing Voodoo Vince and playing with this controller, and I'm just really having a good time. This is my go-to controller right now. You would think that I would prefer this one. I have no problems with the S controller. I think that it's great. This one's an okay-ish controller because the analog sticks are kind of worn. The analog sticks are a little bit worn with this one as well, but still in just great playable condition. I can just play really good. I wonder how clicky the, yeah, it does feel, it sounds a little different. These cords are incredibly long, and yeah, they got that little breakaway part to it, and I just, this is worth a video because apparently for the Xbox One, there is a reissued Duke controller. I think they like swapped out the little middle piece for a blue piece. I'll see if I can find a photo and overlay it for this. But this is the Duke, and I don't really see a point in showing any kind of gameplay footage, although I can. I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Monopoly Party. I'm looking over at those games. Like yesterday, I was just watching DVDs. I'm just in a DVD mood. I've just been watching a lot of DVDs, man, because DVDs are great. I've just been watching, like I said, Mad TV, X-Files, and Outer Limits. And yeah, man, I editing these videos takes too long, and I just feel like, man, I don't know, like, life is too short, man. I already got a bunch of these videos just under my belt, but yeah, it's just I don't know, it's good times, man. But yeah, I just really like this controller. I guess I'll show gameplay footage just to do it. But I don't know. This is about the Duke, and the S controller's nice and everything. And you know what? It's nice to have like the preferred, more you know, not comic. The more commercially accepted version that I can, if I do have anybody over, I can be like, hey, here you go. And they'll be like, oh, you gave me the good one. And I'll just be like, well, I like the old one, you know. And I don't want to grab for my controllers, but, oh, man, I really do need to get my AstroPad and compare and contrast the AstroPad to this, because I wonder if the AstroPad kind of is the spiritual brother or sister or whatever of this one. So, I mean, they are similar. They are pretty big. That AstroPad is huge. I got to show a picture of the AstroPad and then show you some gameplay footage just to do. But, yeah, good times. Alright, we're back. So, as you guys already know, I'm a big fan of transparent stuff. So, I have the transparent AstroPad. And it makes me happy because it's the AstroPad. It's a big controller that I remember playing as a kid because it was my second player. I had a blue one, and I have a blue one now. I have a blue one, a red one, and a transparent one. Very happy with that color combination. And yeah, I just really love like straight up transparent stuff. As you can tell, I have that transparent modded system with the white LED and the alternate BIOS or the startup screen or whatever. And yeah, just feeling these two together. This one has more of a smoother feel that fills out the hands. This one is just kind of, I don't know, I guess more rigid but still full. It fills up your hands pretty good, but it's more akin to the original controller because this one feels like a little streamlined motorboat. It feels, it's kind of hard to explain, but this one feels like more of a fat, streamlined motorboat kind of. I don't know, it's just kind of, I don't know, like you really do need to look at them to get the comparisons. Very similar to the bottom. It's just very, very similar. The two triggers, the Xbox Duke is better because of the extra analog stick, of course, naturally. But if you're playing just straight up Dreamcast games, I like the AstroPad. I can work with the AstroPad. But you can tell it's just very similar. Very, 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 very similar. I don't know if this is some sort of program button or something. I don't know. I love looking at the circuitry and the cords and stuff on the inside. It's just really awesome. And the Xbox has really cool black plastic kind of a, I don't know, it just looks really cool. It looks kind of grainy if you look up close with the detail of it. It looks really awesome. So, yeah, I just think that the similarities between this one and that one, I mean, look at the two VMU ports. I mean, they totally stole from Sega, you know. But, you know, Sega wasn't in a financial place. Microsoft really did cannibalize the market. They muscled their way into the market, and then they won the 7th gen. I think they might have made some money, but then on the 8th gen, it's just like, apparently people are being a little bit more vocal about it. Be like, hey, wait a minute, there's some games on the Xbox One, but I don't think that there's like any kind of real public mass appeal. They I don't know. They gotta churn out some tricks or something for the 9th gen if there is. Well, I don't know, people always say, oh, there won't be another generation. Man, people like physical stuff. I do. But then again, I'm not playing my PS4. It's my PS4 is my DVD Blu-ray player right now. But yeah, I guess we'll get some gameplay footage. I'm just a big fan of this controller. Maybe it's the nostalgia, but I love the Duke, man. It's good. And I kind of like the... Maybe there's something about me that hops onto the whole like bandwagon when it comes to people criticizing stuff. Maybe I just want to like stuff that other people don't like just so I can be unique and special. I don't know. I love the Dreamcast, and it seems like a lot of people don't like the Dreamcast. A lot of people don't like the Xbox Duke controller, but here I am having just a blast, and it feels so good in the hands. This is one of my favorite feeling controllers. I love the Dreamcast controller, don't get me wrong, but yeah, another aspect of this controller is that it doesn't have some sort of like nubby background thing. Because this one right here, my fingers always touch the back of this like, you know, the VMU / Rumble Pack holder. Like that does kind of bother me because, you know, you get used to it. And like my fingers, like I always want to put pressure on my fingers and my fingernails. So I'm always like pushing against the refined pieces and stuff. And then when I'm playing with the Duke, I got nothing to really restrict my fingers, so it feels more comfortable, essentially, just on the back side. On the sides, where it feels in with my hands, it feels really good and comfortable. It hugs the hand. I love the N64 controller as well. That one's just the curves and stuff, and just the way that the fingers feel and the triggers and stuff, it just feels really good. The placement of the analog sticks, just having one here and one there, feels very good and natural. Having the buttons, just the button layout, not perfect because the black and white buttons are different configurations for the Xbox S and the Duke, but you get used to it the more you play. The button configuration makes a little bit more sense for the S controller. You can definitely get used to this one. The D-pad is better. And but the Duke is completely workable. It's serviceable. It's awesome. It's a great controller that came bundled with the original system, and I just like the way that the buttons look, and it's just awesome. I can't stop ranting and raving over this one. I think that both of these controllers are good controllers, and the Xbox original, I'm kind of on fire about it because I have a good time every time I've been just, you know, putting in games and playing. It's just really kind of a nostalgia trip for me because I kind of deprived myself from the other systems because I've been focusing on Dreamcast so much, and then I don't even play PS4, and I really need to play some Xbox 360 games because I got a couple of them that I need to just kind of, you know, pop in and play. But the Xbox original just has a whole lot of character and quality, and just, and maybe it's the nostalgia factor, but I love Xbox original. And yeah, so I'm just gonna show you guys some gameplay footage, I suppose. So just to do it, I don't know, it's play testing. It's, I don't know, this is gonna kind of be a normal range video. My videos have been around like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes up to 45 minutes, but yeah, whatever. It's all good. Let's get into some of this Duke action with the game spinning in its little disc tray compartment thing. Can't speak good. Yeah, first off, I just kind of wanted to show my games just to kind of be random about it, but been playing a little bit of Reckless here and there. I forgot how difficult that game is. Toe Jam and Earl 3, I'm just kind of playing just here and there, just whatever. Monopoly Party, even though it's just kind of not really like a linear game, I've been finding myself playing it a lot because I'm just very fond of Monopoly Party. It's my favorite version of Monopoly. Voodoo Vince is awesome, but I have to keep looking at playthroughs and walkthroughs and stuff. Indiana Jones, I'm just stuck in that game. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, I remember loving that game, but, you know, I don't love it as much. I don't know, I'm just kind of having a hard time playing it. I don't know. Midway games I haven't been playing as much. That I think it's called Gun Griffin or something. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Jaws is a bad game. Spy vs. Spy and Grab by the Ghoulies, I beat those games. That's why I kind of have them kind of listed lower. There's some sort of bowling game, that tack game, and it's just like they're pretty bad. And if I have a game that's kind of twirled around, that's because I have a double of it. So I have 2 Reckless games, so I just kind of have it just, you know, twirled around. These are ones that I know that you can play on the 360, so I'm kind of separating them. So I got Shenmue 2, Stubbs the Zombie, Halo, Halo 2. These are all great games, by the way. Splinter Cell, Max Payne, Oddworld. Half-Life 2 I kind of have listed kind of lower. I got Sonic Heroes, but I'm kind of... I remember liking that game a whole lot better than I do now, too, because I got stuck. There's glitches and stuff. I mean, Sonic 3D games are criticized, and a lot of them for good reason. But Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 1 is recommended on the Dreamcast. Personally, Half-Life 2, there's some sort of glitch where I can't go up a ladder, and I hate that. And Sega GT and Jet Set Radio Future, I probably need to give Jet Set Radio Future more of a shot and just play Sega GT just kind of casually. But I don't really play it. But Brute Force and that Thrillville, which is kind of like a LucasArts carnival ride thing, that's cool. But it's not recommended. I don't think that it's anything to be considered. Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick, I beat that game. That's why, and you can play it on 360, so that's why I kind of have it in this category, but I have it listed kind of last. And this is just a double of Splinter Cell. This is a double of Max Payne, but Voodoo Vince came in a black box, so I swapped this Max Payne disc for, the case for that Voodoo Vince, just so I can have a green case for Voodoo Vince. And yeah, I did that. That is a Splinter Cell. Okay, so I got that, and then Sliders is a show that I grew up with watching too, and it's a lot like Quantum Leap, and it's a show that I need to get into because it's just quality. This is like the season 1 and 2 of Sliders, so just been getting into old shows and just kind of watching stuff more than anything. But I have an old school Model 2 Genesis that I have on top of my Xbox original because I want to play some Toy Story, maybe Chuck Rock 2 on my CRT here. Now let's there's a problem with the disc tray where sometimes I turn on the system. I must not have it plugged in. Yeah, let me plug it in real quick. Maybe I can do it with one hand here. Let's see. I think I was moving some chairs around because I have 2 different chairs in my room. And let's hit that up. Okay, it came out. And yeah, Monopoly Party was the one that I was wanting to play. So what I'm going to do is, it's not advisable to push in the tray, but I can tell that the person that had this system totally pushed in the tray without doing the button. A lot of people don't take care of their stuff, but you're supposed to hit the button and sometimes the disc tray doesn't do it, and I have to like kind of slightly tap the disc tray to get it to go back in. It's annoying, and that's what I don't like about disc tray systems. I love top loaders like the Dreamcast, the PS3 Slim, even though I don't have one, or I don't have a use for it, but it's a top loader, and it's very awesome. Now I have the internal clock right here. It's like requesting that I do some sort of selection thing. I took this cord out, but I don't think that there's going to be any problems with the controller port if you plug in or pull out any controller port stuff, because the Dreamcast is known for, you got to turn the system off. And I think that's probably good procedure to turn it off before you plug it in. So just out of sake of habit, and it's probably the safer and best option, I'm just going to turn the system off. Plug this in. I love that it has a breakaway cable. Actually, that's not the part. This is the part right here, the breakaway cable, because people trip over cables all the time. But this thing is a behemoth, and it takes a lot of force to shove this thing anyway. And the grippies on the bottom are very huge as well. So let's turn this on. I love the startup screen. A lot of people think it's kind of hokey and stupid, but I think it's pretty dope. It's pretty cool. Yeah, man, the Duke. We got the Duke hooked up, and the CRT footage that you see is all like blippy and stuff because I did the Microsoft Xbox review, and I guess I'll do a subcategory where I'm doing the whole playlist thing where it's just going to be Microsoft Xbox, and I guess I'll start doing game reviews. I think that'd be pretty cool, but I got to hook up my system to my other TV, so there's that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hit whatever date. I don't care about dates. I just want to play a game. It's like the Dreamcast with the internal battery. It's just always messed up. I wonder if the internal battery's messed up on this too. I wonder how you're able to fix that, or just ameliorate that situation. But got some Dreamcast games. Just kind of, I didn't have any room on my shelves, so I just got like some random games, just kind of compartmentalized in this and stuff. I have a bunch of like backups and stuff, but don't really need them because I have the original copies for the vast majority of my games. I can always pick up more Japanese import games, or just import games in general, like PAL region. But I've kind of reached a brick wall where I just kind of want to kind of go into the whole, getting rare games like the Street Fighter 2X or whatever, like that rare games, or like Ikaruga or whatever, just getting reproduction copies and just calling it a day. Video games is an expensive hobby, and we work hard for our money, and there's more important things to focus on than collecting video games, but it's just nice to have good collections. But I love Monopoly Party. Like I've said before, I have played with... I'll just go ahead and say it, man. I had an ex-girlfriend I used to play with, okay? And we used to play Monopoly Party, and I got good memories, and, I mean, yeah, things didn't work out or whatever, but, that doesn't keep me from enjoying good games. Yeah, I used to play games with her, but, I can enjoy games for just enjoying games, so... This is what I do. I always do new game because you can pick up your profile through the menus. So I just hit classic because I can like zoom into the character. Select theme. Now you can do classic theme, but for the sake of this video, I'll do sci-fi. And let's do access. Yeah. Continue. Okay. I love the presentation and everything. It looks kind of like Saved by the Bell or something. I'm not sure if you can really tell what's going on because the screen is all blurry. But yeah, you just hit A. You get to see who goes first. I'm playing against Jane. Jane, stop this crazy thing. Jane, you ignorant slut. But I normally pick this little like Range Rover looking thing, and I don't know, like I'm just kind of hugged in with the controller, and I play on the opposite side of the room over there, and then I have my CRT hooked up over here. Sometimes I just play Xbox Original over here, and sometimes I just like watch shows and stuff over there. It's just very nice. I love just I have so much satisfaction from just being alone and doing this stuff. It's just very amazing. It's awesome. Yeah, it's just a nice little game. I don't know. I probably need to like scoot up and show you gameplay, but I love this game. This game's awesome. I guess there's no need to really show a close up of the game or whatever, because you know, there's just no point in really showing the gameplay or whatever. This isn't like a real review or anything, but I just like the Duke. It's awesome. Monopoly Party's awesome too. I recommend it. It's just a really good version. It's really fast because you don't have to wait on dice and people giving you money and stuff. Like, it's just very fast paced for a Monopoly game. So I just really recommend Monopoly Party. It's just a really awesome game. It's really cool. If I start reviewing Xbox original games, that'll be one of the first ones I review for sure. It's a very easy game to get into and stuff like that. So I like the Duke. I like the Xbox original. It's awesome. It's kind of the natural progression of things. If I start reviewing different games for different systems, the Xbox original is definitely a consideration. It's definitely one of the top runners. I got Genesis games and stuff, Xbox 360. I got a PS4, but I barely even touched the thing, as opposed to just as a DVD player, like as I've been saying and stuff. So good times all the way around. It's a good time to be a gamer. It's a really good time to get into retro games because the Xbox original has very good cheap games. They also have expensive cheap games as well, but I don't know, like you can get a copy of Panzer Dragoon for like $35, and that's relatively cheap as opposed to what I thought you'd have to pay for that kind of game. I thought it was more rare than it is. Like Conker's, there's a Conker game on the Xbox that's supposed to be pretty good, but that one's, I don't know, I think it's like $70 or something. That one's up high, but I really like the Duke. I like the way it feels. I don't really have any kind of like main things. I'm supposed to, I don't have any main gripes is what I'm saying, but I'm supposed to review this, and I keep forgetting. Sometimes I do forget, and I'm like, hey guys, I have a good one, and then I put in an overlay. I'm saying, oh, I guess I'll rate it as whatever. I'm going to give it a solid 9. I've been ruminating on this a little bit because the S controller is the superior version. So for the Xbox, just under that category, under that umbrella, the S controller is a 10, but this one is a 9 because of the whole having to reach for the start button. Just, it's kind of a stretch. It's just not natural feeling. But it contours really nice. It doesn't have those little backing stuff to keep your fingers from just kind of being a little bit more free in the back of the controller. The D-pad, I don't really have anything against it, but admittedly the D-pad on the S controller is superior. I just really like the the jelly bean looking controllers. It's just very pleasant to feel and hold, and just it brings me back. And like I said, there's a nostalgia factor, but this is a really good controller. I like both controllers, so I'm going to recommend both of them. So 9 out of 10, totally recommend the Duke. The Duke. I like that it's called the Duke. It makes me think of John Wayne. And I have no idea who named these, but it's hilarious that it's called the Duke because it's like an elephant in the room. You can't ignore it. It's the Duke. It's in your face. It's huge. It's like grabbing onto 2 potatoes. It's this is a hot potato. Hot potato. I think there's a game that like it has a potato. It's like a potato with a face on it, and it's called hot potato, right? You just throw a potato. It's kind of like Duck Duck Goose. I don't know, but I ordered a bunch of stuff on eBay, like little cheap toys and stuff. So I might be doing some more cool stuff reviews. But this is the Duke, and I want to say something corny like, "And I love you." so much love on the Dreamcast 84 channel. So this is the Duke, and yeah, 9 out of 10. Totally recommend. I like the little weird dome, like, you know, they're trying to copy off of Dreamcast because the Dreamcast had that window. So like they had this area and they're like, what do we do? I don't know. Like the PlayStation doesn't feel a need to just kind of have something in the middle, but you know, or like the N64 didn't really do that. Yeah, Nintendo systems don't really do that. It's like Dreamcast and then Xbox. You know, I don't know. I guess they feel like they need to have a little advertisement for their own product in your hand because it's more personal. Probably one of those little, you know, little marketing strategies that they do. But yeah, Microsoft Xbox original, good times. Dreamcast 84, the Duke. Bye bye.